last year, the world was watching Canada, and if they were not then, they are now. In the run-up to October the 19th, The Guardian lamented our nation's role in the world and questioned whether or not we would return to our country's best traditions. The New York Times spoke of a subtle darkening of Canadian life. It asked, did we like what our country was becoming? The answer, of course, was a resounding no. The vast majority of Canadians voted for change. All Canadians, and regardless of political affiliation, expect that their government will be respectful of the values and principles upon which our country was founded and has evolved, particularly since the Second World War, as we continue to develop the very idea, the very concept of Canada as a beacon of hope and optimism in an increasingly divided world. In the days and weeks immediately following the swearing in of Cabinet, this became very evident by the number of people who came up to myself and colleagues, and still do, for that matter, including this morning leaving my house, on the street, in stores, in restaurants, and in airports that I'm in to talk. I've heard many amazing stories. People have come up to me in tears and hugged me and expressed their passion and optimism for our country. The reaction of Canadians is incredibly empowering and incredibly uplifting, underscoring the tremendous responsibility as the reality of governing sets in. My reflections this afternoon are in three parts, based on what I was asked to speak about and certainly reflective of the theme of this lecture series. First, I want to talk a bit about my upbringing, about my lived experience and perspective as an Indigenous person in this province and country, and what led me to become the Member of Parliament for Vancouver-Granville. Next, I will provide some reflections about being an Indigenous woman in Canada in politics during a time of transition and transformation. And finally, I'll conclude with some thoughts about a vision for Canada and how I see my role as the Minister of Justice and the Attorney General, and how that role will assist in meeting that vision. So taking ourselves back a little, my traditional name is Puglas, and I am incredibly proud to come from the Muskama, Zawadanic, and Ligutha people of Northern Vancouver Island. I'm a citizen of the Wewakai Nation, where I used to serve under or on an Indian Act Band Council. I also had the honor, as was mentioned, to be the regional chief for almost 6 years at the BC Assembly of First Nations before stepping down to pursue federal politics. I come from a matrilineal society where we have hereditary chiefs, and I know that there are some hereditary chiefs in the room today. Being matrilineal means that descent is traced through the mother and our matrilineal ancestors. Power and inheritance flows through the mother's line. Hereditary chiefs, always men, are identified from a very young age, and they are groomed for leadership. My father